everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Spirit and Money Forecast. Today, we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, which I believe will cement our understanding as regards money, value, the transfer of wealth, and everything that basically has to do with economics, finances, and the foundation of it, which is money. So today we want to look at what is money. And every time the issue of money is raised, the first word or the first idea that comes to bear is value. So we want to look at what value is. And value is that toward which all human action is aimed. Value is the monetary, material, or estimated worth of an asset, good, or service. So we discover that this is the end goal of money. It is to obtain value. If that is the case, let's go deeper and define what money is. So money is tokenized energy. It takes a certain amount of energy consumption to generate value. So we can say $1, a dollar bill is a measure of energy. A gold coin is a measure of energy. One banana is a token of energy. So money at its apex is a form of property, you get. And here, going on, I'm reading from a compilation of notes and a few gatherings of info here and there. And money is a device for expressing value across space-time. Okay, money is the ultimate form of property, one that can be redeemed for any other form of property, product, or service. This is why money is valuable to any economy. It is a representative unit of value. So keep that in mind, that money in its foundational meaning, essence, it is a representative unit of value. So we want to answer this question, that why is money valuable? Money is a valuable market because it gives its users access to all the goods and services that the market produces. You understand? So I'll take that again. Why is money valuable? Money is valuable or in the market because it gives those that use it access to all the goods and services that the market at the time is producing or presenting or serving. Do you understand? So at its core, money is technology. It's a device we as human beings invented to help us to store value and transact with each other effectively. Okay, so at the core of money is that it is a technology that was invented by man to first of all store value and also be able to transact with each other effectively. And money has three primary functions. One of it being a store of value that is expressing value across time, a medium of exchange that is expressing value across space, and a unit of account that is expressing the price of capital across space time. You understand? So I want to quickly rush through it, then we go to the core of the crypto aspect of what we define money to be. So eventually we look at the evolutionary phases of money, and that is initially money served as a collectible, then it evolved to being a store of value, then it moved from being a store of value to being a medium of exchange, then finally it became a unit of account. So in the case of we talking about crypto, for example, Bitcoin is now moving from being a collectible to a store of value. You understand? So no longer from the beginning that people were just gathering Bitcoins and it didn't have any value at the time, but now it has moved from that phase, or should I say is going beyond that phase to being a confirmed or established store of value. So the purpose of money again is to express value across time, like we mentioned previously, and the good fulfilling this purpose is constantly subjected to market-driven evolutionary pressure. So the greater a specific good's resistance to value dilution across time, the more effective it is as a store of value. So I'll read that again. The good fulfilling this purpose, that is the good or service fulfilling this purpose of expressing value, is constantly subjected to market-driven evolutionary pressure. The greater a specific good's resistance to value dilution across time, the more effective it is as a store of value. So, as a good proof, it's as a good or as goods prove itself or themselves as an effective store of value. Those who adopted it first are incentivized to use it as a medium of exchange. And once enough people are using it, it becomes a unit of account. So as people trade with one another, they experiment with different monetary goods. Okay, so the free market forces the favor of money, which exhibits 8 critical properties. The attributes of a good store of value should be: number one, anything that represents a good store of value should be durable. That is the ease of expressing value across time. Money is resilient to physical deterioration. So anything that represents its features that stands as money or the property of money should be durable. The next on the list, number 2, is that anything that calls itself money should be portable. That is the ease of securely expressing value across space, meaning the money has a high value to weight ratio. The good must be easy to transport and store. Number 3 is anything that represents a store of value must also be fungible. That is, one specimen of the good should be interchangeable with another of equal quantity. Okay. The next on the list is anything that stands as money should be verifiable. The good or service must be easy to quickly identify and verify as authentic. The next on the list, number 5, is money must be divisible. The good or service must be easy to subdivide. And number 6 is it must be scarce or scarcity. The resistance of money to supply manipulation, dilution across time. Okay, so not be abundant or easy to obtain or produce in quantity. So anything that really serves as a store of value must have this feature or quality of being very scarce. Okay, so number 7 on the list is it must have an established history. And that is, the longer the good is perceived to have been valuable for society or by society, the greater as a store of value. So the more the communities around that money or society embraces it, and not only embrace, but they have utility for it, that is, they use it, the more it stands or cements its value as what it represents. That is the store of value. So the next on the list there is it must be censorship resistance. And this is very critical for the crypto space because anything that is easily censored can't be trusted over a long period of time. So in the case of Bitcoin, we say it is difficult for an external party such as a corporation or state to prevent the owner from keeping and using it. Do you understand? Because they operate on a decentralized platform, that is the blockchain technology. So now we look at a few things, we go back in time, look at a few things that back then represented money or how money looked like. So the types of money, due to the advantages competing monetary goods offer, the devices used as money exchanges over time. Throughout history, mankind has used money in different forms. Okay, so what we are essentially saying that money has looked certain ways in times past, and we want to look at the ways in which money looked like or what money looked like. So throughout history, mankind has used money in the form of seashells, in the form of salt, in the form of cattle, in the form of precious metals, in the form of government paper as we know it currently, to name a few. And similar to the price discovery in the free markets, competing monetary goods undergo a market-driven discovery process. So in the end, the most effective technology is adopted and it creates a network effect. Do you understand? So over time, with the seashells, salt, cattle, precious metals, government paper, the market-driven process makes it that if or when these listed items don't possess the aforementioned qualities of money, the market gravitates towards the one that to a large extent holds most of those qualities and sticks with it. And when one part of the market holds on to that technology, it creates a network effect and everyone embraces that format. So historically, metal money best fulfilled the 8 properties of money. So metal money here, primarily we are talking about gold. So out of all metals, gold was the most scarce. And since gold exhibits the most scarcity, it was the best tool for storing value across time. However, since gold is physical and heavy, it lacked portability and was expensive to transport and secure. So gold was great for expressing value across time, but not space. So by issuing currency redeemable for gold, banks figured a way to improve their ability to express value across space. The problem with gold-backed currency is the centralization and trust. So to explain this, when society discovered that gold, although was a good store of value due to its scarcity, it still remained a physical good or a physical store of value. And one, it was physical. Two, it was heavy, and it lacked portability. It wasn't easy to move gold around because it was heavy, and you needed a good measure of security around gold to move it from one place to the other. So it didn't really fulfill the 8 qualities that would define what money should look like. So banks devised a way to create currency which you could redeem for gold at the time. Okay, so now value had the ability, or money had the ability, not only to store value but also to be transported or to be moved across space, or to express its value across space. But the issue with gold-backed currency is that it's usually a centralized entity that presents this paper money or this gold-backed money. And the issue with governments and institutions that have the privilege of dictating the monetary policies of their people, there's always issue with trust. So we must trust the bank to not issue an amount of currency in excess of their gold reserve. So historically, this trust has been repeatedly broken, and in 1971, the peg to gold was broken entirely. So it gave central banks the capacity to compromise the scarcity of money arbitrarily. You understand? So because banks had gold reserves and they could print money in proportion to what they had in their reserves, eventually they started printing more than they had in gold reserves. So it diluted the value of the paper money that they kept releasing into the market. Do you understand? So central banks really diluted the value of what was on ground. So this is partly one of the reasons why Bitcoin is viewed as an important asset by many. Now we are heading to the crypto idea of money now. So number one, Bitcoin has no owner. Two, it is open and decentralized, meaning you can track every transaction and see the transactions that are going on a particular blockchain, which is Bitcoin, and see who is receiving what, who is sending what, and the amount that is being sent at the time that is being sent, the dates and everything about that transaction. Okay, number three, it is a trustless system or operation. That is, because it is decentralized. That is, there's no one centralized authority or institution running the Bitcoin blockchain. You can trust it that its quantity will not be diluted with more Bitcoins. So it is trustless. 2, it is 4, it is permissionless. 3, 5, it is immutable. 6, it is censorship resistant. And the final one, it cuts out the corrupted middleman. Do you understand? So you no longer need a third party to verify, to confirm what you are sending or receiving. You don't need any of that. So that is why Bitcoin in our day, in this blockchain technology age, is a recommended form of currency for people that are interested. And let me put this quick disclaimer out. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not recommending you to invest in Bitcoin. I'm just presenting this based on entertainment purposes. So let's look at the fiat model, that is the paper currency model. So fiat currency is government issued money that is not backed by a physical commodity such as silver or gold. And if anybody was willing to exchange fiat for goods and services, the value of the dollar would essentially be worthless, or not the value of the dollar alone, but any other currency that is fiat. So the word fiat literally translates to by decree or because I said so. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole using websites and every other information hub that talks about this, you discover that the whole foundation of fiat is really very not clear, very porous, and very ungrounded. It's not really strong to stand on. So the ideal model of money should be it should be shared, it should be immutable, it should be incorruptible, and it should be on a correct ledger. So a crypto asset network, open and fully decentralized, is the closest thing we can get to an immutable shared ledger and the closest we can get to ideal money. All right, so back to the issue of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only money optimized to express value across both space and time. And as we keep building new models and changing paradigms, we discover that the blockchain technology will keep evolving and money will become more sound and more trusted. So it will probably take a few decades to shift us to this brave new world where money is not just fiat, but it's running on a trustless, immutable, incorruptible, and correct ledger. So this is going to happen eventually, and there's going to be a global mass adoption of this entire crypto space. So aside everything we have said in this past few minutes, number one, money over the years has evolved. It started from salt, seashells, cattle, and we saw a few things there. We saw, I say, seashells, salt, cattle, precious metals, and we are currently at government paper, that is fiat. And now the technology has evolved again to what we call cryptocurrencies or crypto assets. Okay, so from there we keep evolving in the way the market will gravitate towards something that is easy to transport, still holds a store of value, that is trusted, that can be really open, permissionless, immutable, and also censorship free, and doesn't have to do with any third party. So if you are getting in contact or if you are getting to hear this podcast, it's our way of maybe just saying, as we evolve in the monetary space, just as much as you can, try and look into blockchain technology, learn about it, discover what the new thing is, and not necessarily invest, but just keep an eye on the space, because the next wave of what I believe, in my own opinion, of millionaires, billionaires, or the next wave of wealthy people who will not only come from the West, but also from the global South, like Africa, like India, like Southeast Asia, and some parts of South America, would come from people that are heavily involved in the crypto space or in blockchain technology. So if you are getting this, I believe it's a sign from God. Forgive me for using that, but I believe it's a sign from God to you saying, just look into crypto, and that money is evolving and the idea of what money represents is evolving. Eventually, you discover that governments of the world currently are running pilot projects on what we call CBDCs, that is central bank digital currency. So everything eventually is going to run on a cashless system. The whole economy of the globe, of the world, is eventually going to be on blockchain, either centralized or whatever, but it's still going to primarily use the blockchain technology to operate, so governments can track the use of money or anything that they are releasing to the economy. Okay, so if you are getting this, please do well to look into crypto, discover what is going on, and just keep your eyes peeled for what is coming next. Thank you so much for listening to this edition of the Spirit and Money Forecast. We hope to bring you another informative episode next time. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and find out what's coming up with Water Rabbit, our project. And make sure to find us also on Telegram and see what's going on with the community. It's a vibrant community.